Hi. So everyone talks about how Crash Bash is kind of a silly name just because they rhyme, even though everyone also knows that bash is another word for party. Just ask Virgil.
Couldn't concentrate on preparations for the bash.
But what people don't talk about is how Crash Team Racing is probably a worse name in terms of describing the game. Sure, you have Crash and Racing, but there's no teams. Does anyone actually care about any of this? So here we are, the spin-offs of Crash Bandicoot on the PS1 and the last stop on the Crash train for a little bit before we pick it back up with the PS2 games. So let's get started with Crash Team Racing, the last game developed by Naughty Dog. A mascot platformer is only as good as its spin-offs. Or something like that. Nowadays, the most common spin-off would probably be kart racers. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the best-selling Switch games, but Crash Team Racing didn't start off as a spin-off. During Crash 3's development, Naughty Dog was actually also working on a nameless kart racer with faceless drivers. They pitched the game to Sony with the idea of making it a Crash game, and then they made a deal with Universal, although they did have original characters ready in case it didn't go through. The game continued to be developed alongside Crash Warped and would eventually end up releasing a year later. This game actually has a shitty little plot to go along with it. So this alien dude shows up and says that he challenges Earth's best racer to a race. And if he wins, he'll turn the Earth into a parking lot. And if he loses... The cast of heroes and villains form a tournament for trophies and keys to get the right to challenge Oxide. Why they don't just all go onto a ship and break his legs is beyond me. You'd think that Cortex, Embryo, and Entropy would make something to destroy Oxide chip, or better yet, use Brio's laser from Crash 2. This game rocks 3 character types, balanced, easier turning, and more speed, with the stats being tied to the character you picked as opposed to a kart. I picked Cortex, and looking at his model, he didn't quite make it past being a block prototype that they originally pitched to Sony. You have a small hub where you can practice driving and 4 tracks per world where you have to get first to win the trophy. Getting all 4 trophies opens up the boss garage, and being the boss gives you the key to the next area. The tracks are all pretty well designed. There are only a couple that I wasn't exactly looking forward to. Tiny Arena because it's super long and the thought of losing and having to try again was stressful even though I beat it first try. And I also just don't really enjoy Dragon Mines, and it's really annoying that the boss race is here. Some of the things that make this game unique from Mario Kart are most obviously the physics. It's very bouncy and it feels a lot faster than other kart racers. And speaking of faster, when drifting you can...
To get a turbo boost while power sliding, wait until the smoke from your exhaust turns black, then press the L1 button. If you wait too long, you'll hear a backfire sound and miss your chance for a boost.
Thanks, Uka Uka? Once you get a hang of the drift, you can fly through these tracks, which brings me to one of my problems with the adventure mode. It's easy as shit. Even Oxide, the final boss, is a non-issue once you get in front of him. And speaking of the bosses, they kinda suck. I'm pretty sure they follow a set path considering how often I hit them with TNT crates and potions. And when they're in front of you, they just spam the same item over and over. Not to mention, they don't even get unique tracks, which I can kind of excuse for the main 4 because they all have a track from their world, which is usually linked to them. But why doesn't the final boss get a new track? Sure, it is his stage, but the final boss isn't really memorable when it's just another track that you already know. I guess I should mention the items. What the fuck do you want me to say? They're standard stuff: green shell, red shell, banana, fake box, star, mushroom, blue shell, and lightning. Have fun finding the footage of that last one, future me. That'll teach you to forget to write down the specific times of when things happened. But there's also Wumpa Fruit boxes on the track, and
The more Wumpa Fruit you collect, the faster your kart will go. If you collect and hold 10 Wumpa Fruit, you'll be juiced up, and your power-ups will become more potent.
thanks, Uka Uka. So yeah, having 10 Wumpas not only makes you faster, but it also changes your items. I think the missile and bombs just stun longer or maybe move faster. It's 2 AM, I couldn't be asked to Google it. But the potion turns red and fucks with your current item if you get hit by it, and normally TNT can be evaded by mashing jump button when you run into it, but nitros explode instantly. The adventure mode even has these CTR challenges where you have to find the letter CT on and then win the race after getting all of them. Prick. The relics also return where try to beat the track with the fastest time by hitting time crates that replace the item crates. Now you may remember that in Crash 3 I mentioned that I didn't really like a lot of the relic stages where the goal was already winning the race. The same thing would apply here if it weren't for two things. Number 1, getting all of the boxes gives you a 10-second reduction, making you approach the track differently, which is what I liked about the normal relics. And number 2, there's a lot more going on when driving in this game than the bike from Crash 3. I have to drift, avoid hazards, take shortcuts, jump off of ramps to hit boxes. It's just different, there's more skill involved. Another thing I haven't mentioned yet is that you get a boost based on how much airtime you get off of a jump or any real decline. And since the drift button makes you hop, using it on a ramp gives you extra height, meaning more boost, a precursor to the trick system from Mario Kart Wii. The last thing in the adventure mode are the crystal grabbing tracks. You're put in a battle arena with 20 crystals and a time limit to collect them. Remember when getting 25 crystals across the entire world and even the entire timeline of the universe was the goal of each game, and now 20 of them are all in this singular cove for some reason. I didn't get 100% for this review because I don't think it'll change much about what I want to say, and I really didn't feel like playing through every track 2 more times, mainly because I wanted to get this video out faster because I'm doing 2 games and I've never done that before, but I have 100% this game in the past and I don't remember it feeling as tedious as Crash 3. Ultimately, this game is a lot of fun, especially with friends. I know that isn't a huge, point to make because anything's fucking fun with friends. My friends and I started a cult while playing Uno one time on PS4. But even when you're playing alone and just dominating the AI, it's a lot of fun to go super fast and try to keep a boost going the whole lap. And it's also really satisfying every time you think fast, chuckle up. Oh hey, you got me looking for the transition to the next part of the video. I had this really great idea, but it ran off on me. I have no idea where it could have gone. Oh, there it is! So, Crash Bash was the first Crash game not to be developed by Naughty Dog. They had started work on Jak and Daxter for the PS2, but Universal still had the rights to Crash, so they partnered with Eurocom to make the next game, which instead of being Crash's take on Mario Kart, it is Crash's take on Mario Party. Everyone's favorite board game when they're winning, and the game everyone agrees is broken and unfair the other 90% of the time. But the first thing you'll notice about this game is, it's just the minigames. We all know how well that idea goes. Once again, there's an adventure mode with the story. Aku Aku and Uka Uka are bickering about good and evil and decide to have one big competition to decide which one will win in the end. Despite good winning in the last 4 games against impossible odds. But for some reason they both go along with this, and since they can't fight each other because of elder gods or some shit, they summon their champions. Then for some reason Aku Aku demands that Uka Uka give up 2 characters to even the teams, despite the fact that Crash alone stopped all the bad guys twice and once with Coco's help. And that's not even going into how stupid the idea is to have an ultimate battle between good and evil done through minigames. This is structured the same way as CTR, win 4 trophies then fight a boss, so it should be just as good.
One small issue with that.
Getting trophies isn't as simple as in CTR. See, there you just had to win 1 race, but here you have to win this extremely simple minigame 3 times before one of the computers gets 3 wins, in which case you would have to start over from scratch. The minigames are fun enough on their own, but they just take a bit too long to win even 1 round, and then you have to do it at least 2 more times. This isn't like a kart racer where each lap will be different based on how the last one went or what items you got, and this isn't as fast paced and there isn't any real different way to play it to make it warranted to play multiple rounds. The first world has Crash Ball, Polar Panic, Pogo Painter, and Jungle Bash. Crash Ball is just 4-way Pong. If you let 15 balls get past you, then you're out. Polar Panic is just a more annoying bumper balls. Pogo Painter can go to hell, and Jungle Bash is the only somewhat fun one outside of a party game context. It's still not fun enough to make 3 rounds of it fun, but it's the best one, for what that's worth. Also, what do these games have to do with good and evil? And aren't we supposed to be teamed up? Why is the story not reflected in the actual games? Not one of these is even remotely team-based, they're all free-for-alls. And who the hell is this random ape? I seriously don't remember him from any of the other games. Maybe he was in Crash Team Racing? Who the hell is he, and what did he do to get on the evil team? Anyway, let's see if the bosses are any better.
Well done.
You have completed the challenges that have been set for you in this walkthrough. To progress to the next set of games, you must defeat the mighty Papu Papu.
Yeah, sure he is.
You fail.
Alright, so it's just Jungle Bash with phases. Not great, but it's at least a decent challenge, and it mixes it up enough. I definitely think it's a lot more fun than regular Jungle Bash. Again, for what that's worth. But, alright, we're on to World 2. Let's see what new minigames are here. Tilt Panic. What? No, this can't just be Polar Panic again. There's no way they repeated the same minigames from before. Let's just try the next one. God damn it! There's only one new minigame here. You know what? No. I'm not gonna bother that much with this one. It's a party game, but it's missing the main part that makes the game fun. And no, it's not the fact that I don't have friends. Shut the fuck up. The board is a key part of Mario Party. It's what ties the minigames together and makes them fun. A game being bad or not fun hasn't stopped me before, but this is just on another level of monotonous, tedious, and I'm not gonna spend the next few hours of my life finishing a Crash game where you just do the same things over and over just to get to the next world, and then your reward is doing the same thing again over and over. Especially because I don't think it would add that much to the video. I'd just be a lot more bitter. Like I said before, the games are fun on their own in like a minigame sense, but there's just no real point to them. Could have made 4 boards and a few more minigames, okay, a lot more minigames, and it would feel bigger and more fulfilling, and I would be playing it because I want to, and not because it would feel wrong to not review the last PS1 Crash game. Sure, it would have turned this knockoff from Mario Party into a ripoff, but is that really a big deal? Would Crash copying the structure of Mario Party be a bad thing if the boards and minigames were original and fun? I think this game just falls to the trap a lot of other clones of Nintendo games fall into by trying too hard to be its own thing, and in turn leaving out what made Nintendo's fun. Like, Crash Team Racing didn't remove the key fundamentals of Mario Kart. It's still a kart racer, it just has its own physics, its own tracks, its own mechanics. But Crash Bash just takes the minigames from Mario Party and not the overall structure, which sure, the minigames are a huge part of it, but they're not impactful, they're not the same unless they're working with the rest of the Mario Party experience. So right now Crash is in a rocky place, but instead of going to the PS2 immediately to see what happened to him, I've decided I want to take a little break. I'm frankly sick of this orange rat and his polygons. So to fix that, I'm going to look at the 2D Metroid games. Just the 2D ones, pretty much just 1 through 5. Take a small break, I'll be right back with Crash on the PS2 after. It shouldn't take that long. But yeah, I'm sick of Crash right now. And you might be too, I don't know. This is pretty much the same amount of games as I did for Devil May Cry, except of course these are smaller. I promise right after we'll be back with the PS2 Crash games, but originally I was going to do Metroid instead of Crash after Devil May Cry, but I have more history with Crash, so I decided I was a bit more comfortable reviewing that. But right now, it sort of hit me, you know, I kind of got sick of Crash, and I was back in the mood of playing Metroid, so we're going to do the 2D ones next. I guess I'll put a roadmap here, even though I'll do the same thing at the start of the next video. Be like Metroid 1, 2, Super Metroid, Fusion, probably Zero Mission, maybe Samus Returns, if I can figure out how to record it, and then Metroid Dread, and then I'll be right back with Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex. And yeah, shouldn't take that long for the next video. Metroid 1 isn't exactly a long game. I might lump in Metroid 2, depending on how long the video is, but we'll see. Until then, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you've even watched this far, if you have watched this far, then please leave a very specific comment that lets me know that you watched the whole video. Please. I don't get a lot of comments, and the ones I do I really appreciate. I appreciate everyone who does watch these videos, even though most people don't watch to the end and they'll never see the part where I say I appreciate them, except this video, of course, I started with telling them to subscribe, which supposedly makes videos do better. I don't know, I'm just playing the YouTube game. I'm mostly doing this for fun, if you can't tell, considering the fact that I'm rambling way on past where the script ended. So, to end the video and stop dragging this on, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Have a good day. Tell that person you have a crush on that you like them. Drink water, and I can't think of a way to end this video, so get out of here before I start screaming. Try to get the fastest track on the time. Yeah, that's what you try to get. Yeah. Alright, no, this isn't a joke anymore. Subscribe. Right now, hit the subscribe button. This ain't a joke anymore. Subscribe. Notifications on. Like the video. Before you even finish the video, you don't even know if you like it yet. So yeah, like the video right now. Pace killer, right? Yeah, totally just thought of it. I don't even know where this. I might put this at the end. This might go wherever I put out the gun from. Too late.